If you're thinking about moving to Middle Tennessee or you just got here, there's something that most people don't talk about until they're already in it. Hey, I'm Josh Lansford, a realtor here in Middle Tennessee. I've actually relocated here twice, and if you're thinking of moving here or you're packing bags and on your way, I'm always open to a conversation of what life is like living here in the Nashville area. So subscribe or reach out. My info is in the description below. Moving isn't just about location change. It exposes things in your life you didn't know were there. People expect logistics to be the difficult part of the journey. How are we going to get our vehicles across the country? How will we ensure nothing breaks in the move? Should we sell our house before we buy in another state? But the real challenge revolves around identity, routine, and community. I've watched people move here excited and ready for a new beginning, only to be quietly unsettled a few months later. And then we get things like ice storms or severe weather or these unfamiliar rhythms that amplify those unsettled feelings. Paul Tripp, in his book, How People Change, would consider things like relocating to Tennessee as heat that shows up in our lives. This heat, often felt as trials, encompasses every new experience that we face. There's good heat, there's bad heat, but every bit of heat is given to us by God to make us more and more into the image of Christ. Tripp says God will take you where you have not intended to go, or sometimes where you have intended to go, in order to produce in you what you could not achieve on your own. Most people underestimate how disorienting a good move can be. That disorientation is just what God uses to shape you and build you into the person He's calling you to become. Your move to Middle Tennessee will probably open your eyes to a different way of life from the very beginning. We don't have freeways. We have interstates, yes, but we have a lot of backcountry roads that cause you to slow down and enjoy the scenery. Life in the South is somewhat similar to our infrastructure. The pace here is slower, and you need to know that even in the home buying process, things will get done. They'll get done on time in most cases, but they will not be as rushed. I've helped people relocate to both Alabama and Tennessee, and I'll tell you, one of the comments that I feel has been consistent is that the process seems slower. 30 days is a pretty average closing time, but just know that things might feel slower than you're used to within that 30-day time frame. I was asked by a buyer from moving from California to a county outside of Nashville for some information that required me to reach out to the county. I emailed, waited a couple of days, and heard nothing back. So after that couple of days passed, I called them, and this sweet lady on the other end of the phone said, "Honey, email? We don't even check our email." I said, "Yes, ma'am. By the way, no matter how old you are, if you're a woman, I'm going to call you ma'am." Whether it's this real estate transaction or building relationships with those around you, Middle Tennessee rewards presence and not speed. Know that work will get done. New friendships will begin. Your life will flourish here. It'll just take time and doing the work of showing up. We've actually relocated to Middle Tennessee twice. Our first move to the area was 12 years ago, and it was more of a ministry-minded venture. After 5 years in Nashville, we moved away to North Alabama for a few years to serve on staff at a church. A little over 3 years ago, we came back to this area for a few reasons. We love Middle Tennessee. We love the Nashville area. We had made some great relationships in this area that we really missed. I honestly missed the style of ministry that I was doing in Nashville. We've homeschooled, and we felt like there was more opportunity for our kids in Middle Tennessee to accomplish their goals. And then we had this intention of building a real estate business that would fund ministry. And we felt that the Nashville area would be a better place for that business. If I can be honest, our first relocation was strangely easier than this current one. There are multiple reasons that I could think of for the difficulty of this second go at this area. But the biggest thing, and maybe the thing that anyone relocating needs to think about, is that we overextended ourselves when it came to housing. We were committed to living in Williamson County, but we had a small nest egg. We did have a lot of optimism, which maybe hurt us. That ultimately led us to rent a house that was way too much for us to afford. We were still in Williamson County, but we're not in that same house. We're living in an apartment in Franklin with a ministry that has us serving the community where we live. Honestly, this is not what I thought the transition would look like. but we are seeing clarity around priorities. Every time we've made a move, I've seen more and more things stripped down and have been able to embrace a little more of what actually matters. In many ways, we rushed comfort and we missed clarity. And now in this process of starting over and rebuilding, we're realizing that every reset season strips life down to the essentials. As you think of relocating to Middle Tennessee, I would encourage you that the hard part isn't finding the right house. It's finding your rhythm. In Williamson County, it's easy to chase comfort and miss the real reason you should choose to live in the South. The South is about serving others. It's about hospitality. It's about community that forms naturally out of everyday life. Maybe this move for you is because your money will go further here, or you get more of a house for your money. I get that, but also allow this move to be a reset where you can slow down and you can embrace a season of change, not just in location, but in character. If you're in transition, moving, rebuilding, or resettling, don't rush past what this season is trying to show you. If you want to talk through what life looks like here, I'm always open to a short conversation.